What's up, everybody? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to give you a betting preview for all four of the play-in games for the NBA playoffs. So recording this on Sunday, now that the stage is set, and all sportsbooks have their odds posted, which is perfect for us, which means we can start hammering profitable bets. So what we're going to be doing, giving a preview of all four games, using OddsJam to line shop, find the best odds, while talking through these games as well. Game number one, what we have on the screen here is the Hawks versus Heat. This is the first game being played at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Hawks are the 8 seed, Heat are the 7 seed, so they are the home team. Not a surprise here, but the Heat are pretty heavily favored. Best offered on the money line is at -185. But if we're looking at a sportsbook, we could actually place the bet on a regulated sportsbook. We're looking at Caesars at -195 on the Hawks side of it, +175. And this would be at Bet Rivers. Looking at the spread, which this is where obviously everything is a little bit more interesting. Most of the books have the Heat at about 4.5-point favorites. And that's kind of where I am going with this one as well. Both of these teams are obviously disappointed in how their season went. The Heat were the 1 seed last year, made it all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Was a Jimmy Butler made three-pointer away in the closing seconds from possibly winning that game and going to the finals. The Hawks are in the second year of a very disappointing follow-up to their Eastern Conference Finals run. For me, I know that it's been a weird year with the Heat where people coming in and out of lineups. I just think that the Heat are so much better than the Hawks. And you're going to see Jimmy Butler, Bam, Kyle Lowry, all these players on the Heat show up for the playoffs, which I am not confident we will see in the Hawks. Something weird with the Hawks, they seem like they all just hate each other. They need DeAndre Hunter, who I actually do like, to stay healthy. And this isn't exactly perfect, but we all remember what happened last year when the Heat and Hawks met up in the playoffs. The Hawks were the 8 seed, the Heat were the 1 seed, and the Heat beat them in 5, and Jimmy Butler missed one of those games. Now, obviously, different Heat team, pretty much the same Hawks team, but for one game, the Heat -4.5, I do really like. Looking at Sharp Sportsbook's Pinnacle has this spread at 5, so we are getting a half point of advantage here. And I just think that the Heat are going to be able to take advantage of this one. The value is there on the Heat as well. What I will say is the best value for this game as of right now is actually on the total under 227.5, and that's offered on a couple books. We can see it at Fox Bet, at Betway, at Tipico, and at DraftKings. I do really like the under 227.5. Again, Sharp Sportsbook Pinnacle has it as a full point lower, and they favor it going under, with Circa having it at 226, a 1.5 lower. The Heat defense going to show up in the playoffs. I think they'll be able to stop the Hawks offense. I also don't necessarily trust the Heat's offense because that's kind of been their struggle all year. Pretty much every player on the Heat had a down shooting year. So the under 227.5 is a really, really good play and my favorite play for this game. So Heat Hawks, my official prediction, Heat -4.5. And then we have a under on the total 227.5. Next up, we are looking at Timberwolves versus Lakers. Props to the Lakers, made it all the way to the 7 seed hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are just in total, absolute free fall. The Lakers, obviously hosting this game, being the 7 seed. The Timberwolves, as I mentioned, in free fall. Just in their game, literally today, Rudy Gobert tried to punch Kyle Anderson in the huddle. Apparently, it even made its way back to the locker room at halftime. One of the Timberwolves' better players, Jaden McDaniels, punched the wall, broke his hand. I'm guessing he's going to be out for this game. And the Lakers have just been playing very, very well recently. Now, the odds obviously reflect that, right? You can't just say Lakers are going to win and have it be that, because it's all about finding value in the odds. And the odds are clearly favoring the Lakers being the significantly better team. Best offered on the money line at -244. That is at Circa, who we use as a Sharp Sportsbook. Best offered on a legally regulated sportsbook at -250. PointsBet, BetMGM, DraftKings, Tipico, a couple sportsbooks there. Looking at the spread is where things are pretty interesting. We have the Lakers pretty much universally at -6.5, but we can get the Timberwolves +7 at -112. And I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here, but I actually really do like the Timberwolves +7. I know that everybody is going to be hammering the Lakers because they've been playing better and because the Timberwolves are in free fall. And I kind of like to zag in situations like that where everybody is going to zig. Now, if I had to guess, I would guess the spread will end up moving more and more in favor of the Lakers. So I am not going to lock this in right now, but I do like the Timberwolves to cover. I'm just basically waiting to see when I can get the best line. The zigzag method, the flip-flop method, whatever you want to call it, it works pretty well. Basically, betting against the public works pretty well. So despite the fact that I'm confident the Lakers win in this game, I actually really do like the Timberwolves to cover, just kind of zagging when everybody's going to zig and take the Lakers. In terms of the total, another good play here on the under. This is at 231.5. We see BetMGM being pretty significantly different than the rest of the markets. Pinnacle at 231, Circa Sharp Sportsbook at 230. So we see a pretty clear difference. No book has their main line of this play at 231.5. So another play where I like the under, but in this case, I'm riding with the underdog in the Timberwolves as opposed to the favorite in the Heat in the previous game. Next up, we have Bulls versus Raptors. Now, this is the 9 versus 10 seed being played on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Raptors are the 9 seed hosting the Bulls. And I'll be honest, this game's going to be pretty gross. I don't love either of these teams and really how they play or really just much about them at all. No surprise here being the home team, but the Raptors are favored here, -188 on the money line at FanDuel, with the Bulls best offered at +175 at BetRivers. Looking at the spread, we kind of see it split here between Raptors -4.5 and Raptors -5. And this is another scenario where I actually like the underdog to cover. The Bulls have had a weird year where they seemingly beat the good teams and lose to the bad teams, but the Bulls have kind of been coming on to end the season, and I just trust their scoring more than I do the Raptors. You could see a game where Levine, DeRozan have really good games, and there's really nobody that you trust on the Raptors. Siakam started off the year really hot. Fred VanVleet has been playing better as of late, and the Raptors are long and feisty and everything like that, but the value here is on the Bulls at +5. We see Pinnacle price this spread at 4.5. We see other sharp sportsbooks have this at 4.5 or 5, but favor the Bulls at that number. So for those reasons, I do like the Bulls to cover +5. And then last up, we have the Thunder versus the Pelicans. I think that this is going to be a really fun game. I'm actually most looking forward to this game in terms of just raw entertainment. Pelicans being the 9 seed, hosting the Thunder as the 10 seed. Nobody expected the Thunder to be here. Everybody thought, especially when Chet got hurt, they were going to tank, but they have a nice, young, fun team, obviously led by superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And then some young players, Giddey, Jalen Williams is incredible. The Pelicans have been playing much, much better recently. Most notably, Brandon Ingram has been playing incredibly. I mean, just put up like 40 today when I'm recording this. He also has been playing really well as a distributor. Now, Brandon Ingram has a little bit of Anthony Davis syndrome where it's hard and you can't rely on him staying healthy. But when he is healthy, he has been a difference maker. So we're not surprised to see the Pelicans as the favorite here. Best offered at -182 at Circa. Best offered on a normal sportsbook, non-sharp one, at -190 at BetMGM, with the Thunder best offered at +176. Now, I do kind of like the Thunder at this number. We see Circa Sharp Sportsbook price them all the way down at +148, and we see another Sharp Sportsbook down at +165. Now, looking at the spread, we see some pretty good value on the Thunder as well, right? Pelicans have this at -4.5 or -5, depending on where you look. But on FanDuel is offering you a pretty good price on the Thunder at +5. Now, I know people are going to laugh and say, the Thunder trying to tank, are they really going to win a play-in game? I have faith in the Thunder. I do like them to win this game. Now, the Pelicans, the second year, they are in the play-in game, right? They won last year to get to the 8 seed. They actually had a pretty good fight against the Suns as the 8 seed. So the Pelicans obviously had to win 2 games last year. So they're more than capable of doing it. But the value here is all on the Thunder, right? You can get them at +5. Circa has them at 4.5 while still favoring the Thunder at that number. So I like the Thunder in this one, +5. I wouldn't mind sprinkling some on the money line as well. And that's going to be it. So betting preview, using oddsjam to find the best value for all 4 games, gave you official bets, predictions, all that good stuff. If you have any questions or comments, or if you're tailing anything like that, comment on the video and let me know. Other than that, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit me up on social media, and that's it. So enjoy the games and have a good one.